Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sin. Be sure to follow us over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join a discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. If you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. Podcast character designs done by Demon Artie. Be sure to follow her over on Twitter at ArtieDemon. I made a mistake last time, said last episode was 17. This is actually episode 17, and it's Lily Pad Thai. Get it? It's a cooking episode. I actually saw pictures of this when they were first advertising this series. I'm like, oh, look at that nice dress she's wearing. And she's absolutely adorable in this thing. But we open up and we have, they're making dinner with the family, or they might be even doing lunch. They're doing the pizza thing. I like that. It shows there was some continuity between the earlier episodes when she first showed them pizza. So we have Spriggs throwing the dough in the air, and he's like, trying to, he's doing a pretty good job. They ask Anne to cut some vegetables, and she's like super awesome, cutting them up like a buzzsaw.
Wow.
And it's like, oh, well, where'd you learn to do that? Then we get some backstory where I guess Anne's parents ran a restaurant. Well, that's kind of cool. She even had a little picture of it. And it's like a little like hole-in-the-wall side restaurant. And I'm like, well, how come Anne wasn't helping cooking the whole entire series? But she's like thinking about like, oh, I wonder if they're doing, like I help out a lot. So I wonder, how they're doing without me. And as I'm having this conversation, Spriggs somehow blew up the oven. Like the whole pizza exploded. So they're going to go out to eat. They go to Stumpy's. And this place is freaking gross looking. It's even for this frog world, this place looks pretty gross. Those possum things, they're just walking around the restaurant. It can't even eat the food. It throws up. So when like a trash eating animal won't eat your food, there's something going on. There's a dead guy in the corner. They get their, it's really funny because you get all this like back stuff with the Anne's, like, oh, the font's too small in the menu, like all the little things you need to do right to run a restaurant. I don't even think they ordered food. They just like, he just brings their soup, which is like this nasty like stew. And then we get that one guy who was the announcer guy at that Firefly Festival. And I guess he's also a food critic, so he writes for like the paper or whatever. And they play a little, what do I say? It's a gag on a gag. The whole, there's a fly in my soup. But in this world, that's a good thing. So there was only one. He's like, there should be dozens of flies. So they kind of flip that joke on its head. The guy who runs the restaurant, he kind of has that surly kind of voice. Kind of like a sea captain a little bit.
There be a problem, sir?
Yes, there's only one fly in my soup. There should be dozens. I mean, how hard is it to run a restaurant anyway?
And he has, all of his limbs are attachments. So, like, he doesn't have hands or feet or peg leg. And then he just has spatulas for hands. And, this guy's talking crap to the chef, telling him how terrible it is. And then Anne's like, oh, these food critics, I dealt with them with my parents' restaurant. They're the worst. They think they know everything. They think it's so easy to run a restaurant. And they're like, just ignore it. Just, it's none of our business. But Anne, of course, can never, everything's Anne's business, right? She goes up there, starts talking to the guy. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And you know what? I bet you I can get this restaurant up and running. And she makes this huge promise that she's going to fix this restaurant in 2 days. And of course, he takes the bet. It was really a bet. It's more of a wager because they didn't really bet anything except for, this guy might lose his restaurant. And he's like, what are you talking about? What's going on? Like, she's making all these big promises and he hasn't agreed to anything. But, yeah, like, that's the thing. Come back in 2 days and, I'll write the review and shut your restaurant down. Here's the thing. The guy's like, oh, man, you just ruined me. But he was going to write a bad review anyways, so you were going to lose your restaurant either way. Might as well give it a shot, right? But Anne sits down. Come on, there's lots of things we could do. I can make this happen. I know what I'm doing. And it's like, and then Anne realizes, crap, I said 2 days. So my big mouth got me in trouble again. So that's a recurring theme with this girl. She talks big, she promises big, and then she gets herself in a huge hole. So it cuts to that night, and I guess the guy's like bringing in like this giant, I don't know, alligator salamander thing. And then Anne's just standing there all creepy, like waiting for him. And he's like, well, how long have you been here? Well, I've been here all night. I just was waiting for you to get back so we can get started. And she's having all these ideas. Do we change the menu? Do we start decorating? Do we burn it to the ground? It's just because it's just like this filth hole.
Creepy kid.
What do you want to start with? Change the menu, redecorate, burn this place to the ground and start over?
This guy doesn't care. He's like, whatever. I was going to lose this restaurant anyways. Then we get the montage playlist. They start cleaning up. Any fan of like, especially in the 80s, they would do this all the time. the one that comes to my mind, which is probably one of my favorites, was "Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead." They have to get ready for the party, so like the music starts and everyone's cleaning and getting things ready. It's just nostalgic in my mind. The cleaning montage, I just love it. So she's going around cleaning, mopping things up, throwing out the trash, and I guess this dumpster is actually a monster. And she's taking out this giant bag of trash and it rips open. Ugh. Anyone who's had this happen to them, anyone's worked in the food industry, when you're like trying to throw a big bag of garbage and it tears open and it goes everywhere, it's so gross because it's all rotten food and everything. But this dumpster like is alive and it starts chasing her around and stuff. And then Stumpy's like starting to not necessarily enjoying watching her go through this, but he's like, oh, she's trying. She's actually putting in an effort. So she starts cleaning the dishes, and again, they do another comedy trope. Oh, the little sprayer is not working, but in this world, it's like an actual like eel or snake thing. The stack of dishes are going to fall, but then Stumpy grabs them. Then they start working together, and they work really well together. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like they kind of built this little friendship here. And I like how the spray bottle is like a bug. So like you squeeze the bug in and it shoots out the counter cleaner. The whole restaurant's clean now. It's definitely still looks like a, dirty dump, but at least it's clean. And he's like, oh wow, we really turned this place around. And he's like, and Anne's like, no, we barely even started. All we did was clean. We have to get things done right. We got to do a new menu. We got to do a full, remodel. So like Anne lays out her plans. And the guy's like, oh man, I guess I'm going to need me hammer hand. He just has like all these different attachments.
Bigger.
Oh, I'm gonna need a hammer hand for this.
I love this guy. Stumpy's awesome. Then it goes to the next day and, big crowd outside. It kind of really reminds me of like Restaurant Impossible or like those shows where like, we're going to fix your restaurant. It's very much like that. But I guess she's doing a Thai fusion. Could there be anything more cliche than a Thai fusion restaurant? It's like the number one thing in the world. So it's super nice outside. It looks like a real legit restaurant. And then here we go. We got Anne in her traditional Thai outfit. Absolutely adorable. Look how nice she looks when she actually takes all those twigs and crap out of her hair. Very, very, very pretty young girl. So she's doing the hostess thing. Getting people, sitting them down, giving them drinks, asking people how their food is, doing all the things you do in a restaurant. Everyone's loving it. They're just eating it up. That old lady, the one that was racing Sprig in the previous couple episodes, she's like ordering something, and then Anne's being like a perfect hostess. Oh, this is this item, like explaining things to her and everything. Really, really cool. Stumpy's still getting nervous, like, oh man, when the reviewer shows up, but they're doing a really great job. Sprig, Hop Pop, and Polly show up, and they're like, oh, we need a table for 3, but I guess they're so packed there's no table. And then that reviewer guy's been there the whole time, but he was like in disguise. He's like, you can have my table, I'm finished. And he's such a jerk. Oh, this food was terrible. And he kind of makes he's like, it just feels like a mishmash. You just layered things on top of things. Like, that's what a lot of people make that mistake with the fusion food, which, happens a lot with a lot of ethnic food. It kind of can feel that way. So he's not wrong, but he's kind of being a real freaking jerk about it. Anne's like, wait a second, we'll get you something you're going to love for sure. So if you stay here, we'll get you something great. And he's like, oh, how titillating, we'll try to wow me. Then they go to leave to go get they kind of try to come up with this like super menu item. And then Anne comes up with like, her parents would cook this really good menu item that everyone would love. And it's like an octopus dish. Then they have to go get one. And the whole time, Hop Pop walks up there. He's like, so, are we going to get your table? Like, I totally forgot that he promised them their table. But since he's staying, it doesn't even matter. They capture this octopus. It's like a kraken. This thing's humongous. This thing probably weighed like 1,000 pounds. But they cook it. They get it all ready. They serve it up to him on this giant platter. And I'm thinking, how is he supposed to eat this thing? It's like humongous. It's not dead. It's still alive. It comes alive, starts attacking him, starts attacking the family. It's destroying the restaurant. Anne's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. You're going to get shut down for good. And then Stumpy's like, you know what? You tried your best. Like he's being a really cool dude. And he's like, you know what? We may not be able to save this restaurant, but you know what? We're going to save these people's lives. And they start to fight it. And Anne comes with the idea, oh, there's a huge like lemon wedge. You're going to use it to squirt him in his eye. Stumpy puts on his meat tenderizing attachment. And they start fighting. It's not an act. This isn't an action show, but the fight scene's all right. He gets inked in the face. They're fighting. Anne gets the lemon wedge, gets it in his eye, and it distracts him enough for Stumpy to give him the thwomp with his hammer, kills the thing, and it's like dead in the restaurant, and everyone's like, hey, you saved everyone. But then Anne's like, well, we're gonna lose the restaurant. And the guy's like, no, this was wonderful. A meal that tries to eat you? How absurd. Like, he's into all that stupid crap. And then he's gonna go post it on the message board. I think that's, code for like Yelp reviews and everything. And then Anne's like, what do you mean a message board? Yeah, literally a message board that's outside, and that's where he puts his reviews, like not like on the internet. And then she's still like, man, the restaurant got all busted up and everything. And she's, she's apologizing to Stumpy. He's like, no, don't apologize for anything. You actually got me to care. I actually want to start cooking again, and like gave an old cook back his soul, right? Pretty cool. I like that. And it ends on a gag that's absolutely hilarious. I'm going to just play the clip because I can't do it justice.
Thanks, Stumpy. Put her there. Ooh, this feels nice. What is this? Oak? Mahogany?
It's carved from the bones of me missing hand.
Oh, come on.
Why end it on something so creepy? And then the look on Anne's face like, oh God, that's your bone. Oh man, this is great. Why can't Anne dress up more? She looks so nice when she does her hair and everything. But yeah, another funny episode. The great action sequence. It was really short, but it was still a fun action sequence. Anne working hard, which is really cool to see her actually try. She's lazy. She tries to get out of work all the time, but when she actually really wants to do something, she's actually really good at it. So another great episode. Really, really funny. Stumpy's awesome. And yeah, when you're cooking octopus, make sure it's dead before you serve it to someone.
So, this mean we can't have your table?
Crimson Saint here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.